afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and another riveting, amazing Propagandacast. Me, your host, ImperialDane, Master Propaganda, Hero Psych, Defender of the Fatherland, your very own God Emperor of Mankind, off here to 2 versus 2 on Elst Outskirts. In the south, we got Doggy and Rowdy forming up here the Soviet Union's glorious 3rd Guards Mechanized Corps with Guard Motor, Mechanized Support, and Advanced Warfare. More Mechanized Support, Guard Rifle and Armoured Assault versus the north, we got OldTimePro and ImperialDane himself fighting for the German army. Deutschland forming up here, the Großdeutschland Panzerdivision, with Mechanized Assault immediately chosen here for me in a bold choice here with Panzergrenadier and Panzerfausts. And Breakthrough, Luftwaffe and Scavenge here for OldTimePro. No Spec Ops, Enter Command Panthers shenanigans there for sure. We got a bit of silliness going on with Rowdy, Doggy and OldTimePro. They're sort of, shall I say, more light-hearted players. So they're just having a bit of fun there. Grenadiers MD4 moving out here rapid on the eastern side, going for a wide approach here. The Pioneers to move the fuel point. In the south, we got OldTimePro going very old time ahead here, aggressive with the Sturm Pioneers. We got a support company start for Doggy, with Rowdy going here for the Special Rav Command. And they had a lot of Maxims. I was expecting at least one of them to go for Maxims. I kind of went for the Mechanized Assault Doctrine in anticipation of that, partly for the Assault Grenadiers, but also in case I could go for Stugis or Mechanized Assault Groups to help deal with that one. Another reason is I kind of want to get a bit more used to submachine gun units with the Wehrmacht, so I'm using those to prepare for the new Stormtroopers as well. So there's a bit of, shall I say, future training ahead with those Assault Grenadiers there for me as well. Max moving up here, note with Sturm passing about the road to ambush anything. Yasos, they won't see it's coming. You're about to see Tommy's van, you idiot, beyond the eastern front. Moving about here aggressively, trying to suss out what my opponent's doing so far. Rowdy's not doing much. Also starting to see that they're converging on my teammate. No, I don't think you're seeing it here, but we're basically sort of discussing. He's telling me to just focus on grabbing territory, though I'm still going to try and move in to support my teammate just slightly by trying to flank about the rations, but I'm not going to rush straight ahead. Just a little note there. More peanuts on the way there for Rowdy. More Strafniki. Bit of skirmishing over here, dealing with the engineers to push them away, ensuring they do not cause any fuss, any trouble. Peon troopers opening up, and the Grenadiers here, shots flying back and forth. There we go, first Assault Grenadier squad out here for me. Also, I think likely the only squad, since I don't feel the great need to go for a lot of them, but still one can be useful here and there. Maxim setting up right in the Sturm Pioneers, the ambush ruined. Their plan, well, rubbished. And there you go, Max moving up the Sturm Pioneers, almost costing OldTimePro there. His initial Sturm Pioneer squad, which would be quite unpleasant. And here we go, my flanking assault means that I got penal troopers pushing up on my flanking assault's flank. So I got to sort of switch about to deal with the penal troopers first one, keep up pressure here on the rations. OldTimePro's assault collapses, falls a bit behind. Apparently the penal troopers were not flanking me, so Rowdy has not been paying attention. I'm going to need to get self-free hits in there. Machine gun remains here in part where that actually shifts about there. Assault gunners moving from the north here, slowly arriving. Penals are being shot to bits by the Grenadiers. And there we go, routed. And the machine gun actually, remains here in case, he tries to push up for here. The machine gun will help cover the retreat of the Grenadiers and also, ensure they don't get murdered. So there you go, cutting off the points here, denying them fuel here. Force them, of course, now direct to me, which could open up then for OldTimePro to be able to launch a successful assault into their back. So a bit of a risky assault in some ways for me, but also opens up some potential there for good counterattack, which is partly the point here, of course. More importantly, slows down the resource income. Assault goes moving up here, sprinting up and there, getting the conscript close to the Schmeissers, tearing apart those hapless rations. And then moves a bit too close to the maximum and gets suppressed. Still, almost got a wipe then. The conscripts 4 kills so far. Other troops falling back here still, causing some disruption, some dismay here in the Russian lines. Lots of Maxims out here for Doggies, up to 3. Also noting the Russians are going for Doctrine. It is Guard Motor and it is Mechanized or Armoured Assault, meaning of course lots of T-35s, but also the potential for IS-2s, Gas and Heavy Mortars, OldTimePro. So within 5 minutes remains the only player without a Doctrine. More Pioneers out here to help build up stuff at the front line, or rear lines, as my Pioneers and the other squad was about here. In fact, laying down some S-mines to catch up troops here. Rowdy moving ahead, OldTimePro getting ready for his next big push. He's not been rushing out there. Badgrove headquarters up, slightly positioned towards me, so theoretically I can move up there, get some healing from medics, which I will be taking advantage of. Like to make a nice company going up, going to rush out some light vehicles to put some pressure on the rations, and there you go, Rowdy and Dog looks like they're heading straight for my car point, return the favour to me, and of course taking advantage of OldTimePro not being on the front line here to basically again, hit me where it hurts. Nice play there by them. OldTimePro, by the way, he has gone for breakthrough tactics. Back here, nothing further going on for the rations. OldTimePro is setting up for sort of a deep flank assault here somewhat. He's also suffered some heavy losses in the early game, by the way. He's down to just 2 forces now, the Panzer Fusiliers, which of course makes it much easier for the rations to, well, rush me. So I'm of course in a lot more pressure here. Rifle grenade off goes, gets almost an entire wipe there. Assault grenades all. Another almost wipe there, but still staggering casualties to the Russians. Scout car pushing back the MD-42 and could get a wipe here, which is going to be hurting me quite a bit here in the early game. There we go, wiped out. Pioneers close to being wiped, but they get away here. So troops rushing back here for healing reinforcement. No light vehicles on the way from me at the time being. In the meanwhile, OldTimePro with diminished forces is still launching an attack here on his own. We got more panzers out there. He's just throwing them in there. The 6-man squads, hardened men. We've seen much action. More grenadiers moving up here. Troops healing reinforcing here, or reinforcing primarily for the time being. 8 kills on those assault grenades. Those assault grenades certainly had an impact there on those penal troopers. Back here, reinforcements should soon be happening here. Rowdy, though, did take a bit of beating there. He's a bit weak on the front line, so basically down to Doggy's machine gun to hold the cutoff point, which of course alternates those resources. Meanwhile, though, OldTimePro taking advantage of anything he can there. They're focusing on me to sort of sweep up through here and punish Doggy, maybe forcing Rowdy to have to deal with that. Assault grenades coming up here. He's going to try and flank this, maximum, clear it out. Half-tech following up here. And in a rare, unprecedented move, is actually going to be used by me to actually go for flamethrowers to help deal with some of all this stuff. I prefer the regular half-track personally. You got a bit more tactical options, but sometimes, you just gotta, put the heat on them. There goes Scout rolling up behind the assault grenadiers. Infantry advancing through here, going for the cutoff point. So we've got mines down here as well from Rowdy. Good work there. More panzers out there for OldTimePro. He's just, again, he's so far behind. He's just gonna push whatever edge you can, and in this case, going for 6-man squads as the Germans is, one way of doing it. I mean, it's going to be much harder for him to get stuff, killed that way. On the ration basis, nothing further happening in Tech Up. They're just trying to push back here, having been initially repulsed. Panzer was doing against. By the way, not a good house for infantry. You only got like one window per side, so you're not really going to do a lot there. You want light machine guns, but preferably heavy machine guns in these sort of buildings. So, yeah. In the south, grabbing the fuel point there, denying the Russians fuel, which of course is very important, particularly after they denied us. Killing for the machine gun there, causing a bit of havoc. Flampanzerwagen out here to cause some grief and havoc. Also noting Telemines here, partly to catch up in light vehicles, in particular T-70s. But it could also be used versus later tanks. Constant units being caught on the fires of the fatherland. In the west here, Rowdy and Doggy once more cooperating. They're doing pretty good in the teamwork department. To be honest, in my case, me and OldTimePro just, randoms put together. So, obviously, there's going to be a bit of a lacking in some ways in teamwork compared to Doggy and Rowdy, who I believe are, experienced teammates. Back here, the troops are reinforcing assault grenadiers setting out again. 2-2 following up to help deal with, vehicles that might threaten my flame for a half-tech and other fun things. Guards went out for Doggy here in the 3rd Guards Mechanized Corps. And there we go, 2-2 arrives. We got Panzers there healing and enforcing. No G43s they're going for him yet, though I expect them soon. And setting up here for a nice deep flank, really nice work there. Certainly something I tend not to see from a lot of my Oberkommandos teammates when I'm playing randoms. So nice to see someone actually doing it. Usually tends to be something that tends to mark a good player. He actually flanks. Particularly the Oberkommandos, but there you go. Flamethrower after they're going, catching the penals, they're burning away there with the hot scorching fires of the Third Reich. Petrov, this is a bit uncomfortable. You're on fire, you idiot. Run. And they go pursuing them. Almost getting a wipe here. Causing quite a bit of grief there. 8 kills so far. And Scout car rolling in with penal troopers with anti-tank rifles. Catching up the flame for half-tack. And I'm going to be rolling in that straight into the mine. Costing me the flame for half before really I think getting the full bang into the assault. Just hold it up. So they got the 2-2 going in here, but of course with anti-tank rifle wielding penal troopers nearby, can't do much with the 2-2 there. There we go, flank pays off. He hits the fuel point there. T-43's ready as well. Again, nice flank here. Guards moving up. Here's again Doggy Rowdy striking me as OldTimePro moves up there. Pioneers coming in standing about here. 2-2 good to go more or less. And Grenadiers reinforcing. Light machine guns by the way would be a good idea for me to help deal with all the rations. Panzer was there catching Boris out in the open there before the rest sort of realise what's going on. Apparently not, actually. In fact, no one quite seems to be realising what's going on there. They're just sort of running about, shooting randomly, but sort of a bit confused. No grenades, interesting choice there. Guards being pushed back here, though, as they pull into cover. Might be what they didn't pop it immediately. Field gun out here for Doggy, good choice. And far up north here, we got the pins moving up with the anti-tank rifles looking for targets. And we got take up here for the Rowdy, very good. Doggy is yet to commit to anything. Grenade off here, trying to catch them. 2 moving grenades, and there goes surrounding them, forcing retreat here. Scout cut charging in the west. OldTimePro here with the sheer mass of panzer facilities unleashed upon the Russians as is somewhat successfully forcing them away. Assault gun is good to go. Half fate of Etany 2 already. That is none too shabby. Lots of mines down there from Rowdy. Also very nice to see. Other pioneers retreating. Am I taking up? Yep, I'm taking up there. Gonna just try and set up for armor as fast as possible. Not gonna dither about there for sure. Unfortunately, pushed back here by the scout car, closing Etany 2. And again, they're very good at sort of switching from side to side here. Whereas me and OldTimePro comparatively aren't quite as good as in that sense coordinating, but we're good at taking advantage in the sense of when they sort of try and focus on the other one. Somewhat. I'm not going to claim we're masters at it. There you go, Gunner's catching the engineer squad here. Gonna fire a rifle in here, hoping he's not paying attention, and he wasn't. Now the question is, can we get a wipe? My God, Archer. He had next to no life left. You could have murdered him, good. Knothead. And there you go. Panzers there, almost taking out the Maxim, but looks to be another runner. Figuring they're causing trouble, folks is running away here. 2 million to transport in this case to try and take out the M3A1. Panzer squad there wiped out. Quite lost. In fact, he's suffering heavy inflow losses. We've got the spare Panzer corps out with all of a sudden here for OldTimePro. Interesting choice there. 2 they're trying to take out that M3A1 and certainly relieve some pressure on him and on me. There we go. Pop goes that weasel. Nasty hit there. Bit of movement around here. As I was busy managing the 2-2-2. Need to set out for some more pressuring here. Could try and sneak up and basically hit the flank from that angle again, since that does seem to be a bit of a blind spot on the Ration lines. Orbs on the almost taking out a Maxim, but TSO extending the Orbs of Darden. Slightly nasty habit he's got here. More Orbs learn out for OldTimePro, so good. He's relying a lot on the lead infantry, though, of course. He is suffering heavy infantry casualties rather consistently. More telemines here. I am certainly worrying about a T-70 giving me a headache. Got a Pack 40 as well. On top of still that 2-2 to help sort of, deal with things, maybe be used as bait. As I wait for, well, enough fuel tank to get out some armor. I got a bit of manpower. Floating a fuel cache could be an idea. I'm not going to spend, though, anything else on, say, a light vehicle or more assault grenadiers at this stage. I don't quite feel like that's good. And if I were to get, something like that, I'd probably go for Panzer grenadiers instead. Veteran 2 gained on the assault grenadiers. Orbital and Panzer was moving about there. The Panzer is actually sort of unique in a sense to the CoH2, at least initially, since they were basically just another title for Panzer grenadiers. The CoH2 and GAT, so for being an elite division, it caught on with other elements, but generally sort of more unique, whereas Relic seemed to decide they're sort of armoured reconnaissance troops, which is not really the case. So that's partly because the Fusiliers were sort of reconnaissance troops for the infantry divisions. It's a little fun note there. But Panzer Fusiliers were just another title for Panzer Grenadier, straight up. Skirmishing about here, though, T-70 giving, both me and OldTimePro here a bit of a headache. Pack 40 about 2-2 moving in. And I'm in fact rushing out in Ostend, partly due to the situation. I feel like, in terms of fuel harassment, we got something going on there. So I feel like get out in Ostend, I could put some pressure on all the infantry, plus light tanks. Of course, in some ways a bit risky, but if it pays off, it pays off. Plus I got telemines and the Pack 40. But the engineers somehow managed to clear out the mine while still being somewhat removed from it. Much to my amazement. Hey, mortars out here for Doggy, running with some artillery to help deal with the fascists. Very nice work. They all started moving out. Light machine guns on the way there. Panzer Force well here for OldTimePro. Very good. Flak Panzer mobilized. I could, in theory, have gone for the Stuggy instead. But that's prime command points. But it's not yet buffed. Once it gets buffed, I probably would have waited for it. But without it, not likely. People's moving ahead here. Pack 40 also moving in as well. Pioneers routed. Of course, try and catch the penal troopers here without them popping into the house. They were down to tank rifles. The Ostmen can't really deal with that. I haven't gotten any flamethrowers, which, you know, is a bit of an oversight on my side, to be honest. In the west, skirmishing continues out here. Scrap hunted ports exposed. Not the best position, to be honest, there for OldTimePro. Bit risky. Also in the east, though, or northeast, dealing with the penal troopers here, hammering away there. Pushing in this little, drawing away there. Not enough troops near our support, but we got troops running out here. Assault Grenadiers, virtually 2 standing about here. Interesting enough, they are on the point somewhat, but it's not being counted as capping it, which is a bit noteworthy there. Trying to flank up here with the orbital down, but it's not quite finding that of an easy time here with Doggy, who is not letting that one slip by. But there you go, moving ahead, continue here with the with the penal troopers, straight to the Ostman, and now as he's pulling them back, I go on the offensive, so now I got Grenadiers and the 2-2 to back it up. So there you go, Strafniki called out in the open, their casualties being piled up here. And in the west here, Panther 4 rolls through the lines, causing confusion and disorder here in Doggy's defenses. Also now taking advantage of the T-10 being removed here to move up with the orbital down to clear out the support weapons, causing a collapse here off Doggy's front line. Nice flank there again by OldTimePro. I really cannot stress enough how nice it is to have an Opal Commando as teammate who knows how to flank. Most of them do not. I would very much like to add and wish more would. So thumbs up there to OldTimePro. Utilify there trying to break up the assault, but OldTimePro's having none of it. Say just firing high explosive rounds, Jurgen. It's going to take much bigger stuff to take us down. Are you sure? Yeah. I've done this a million times. Shrap hunted quarters down, but still done some damage there. Push them off here. Engineers laying down more mines. Quick work there by Rowdy. No further take up here for the rations. Following up with the Sturmgeschütz because, you know, you got to prepare at some point for armour. Fuel cache being laid down here to sort of help with the future fuel income. Trying to gain a slight edge on the rations here. And of course, it also supports my teammate, which is always a plus. 9 kills for the soldiers pursuing the engineers. We got large principal horde moving up here. The assault grenadiers will have to retreat here. They do not stand much of a chance, and particularly not once they hit the bloody mine. Flak panzer moving up here to give them a bit of a peppering with flak fire. Of course, additionally, this also helps protect the car point, preventing them from just making use of that little tactic they have used a few times before. So there are certain numerous benefits to that. Healing enforcement, his Panther 4 waiting repairs. I should have my Pioneers at some point in the near future retreating back to help with that. Got Panther Grenadiers out there. I rather like Panther Grenadiers personally. Very good infantry. In particular, if we can get off a good flank with them, they can really sow chaos and dissension within the enemy lines. Flak Panther rolling a bit back. Rowdy at this stage. Is he potentially playing for the IS-2? Maybe he might be stalling for it. That is. Got moved up here. People straight to the Flak Panzer's line of fire. Gunny is catching a field gun off here. In fact, we see his back take to the support company. And he's in fact gone for dogs. Of course, from the casting perspective, we know he's stalling for it. Of course, from my perspective, less certain they didn't quite, put the dots together. They should have. I should have. Anyway, Stog is still at it here. He's most likely not going to be stalling for the IS-2 because he's got no IS-2 to stall for. Very important distinction there. Maximum himself is not trying to grab it. Maybe a bit of oversight there, but OldTimePro could benefit from a machine gun to help deal with some of these rations. Calling in a artillery, I believe, to back up him. In this case, though, on the machine gun, of course, the nearby mortar. I wasn't actually quite aware the mortar was there, but it does cause a bit of disruption here with Doggy and Rowdy. And these continue skirmishing here. We got another push here from Rowdy against the lines of the Großdeutsch and Panzer Division to the gaining virtually 2. Infantry moving out here. Others healing and forcing, and there you go. Pioneers going to work here and repairing OldTimePro's Panzer 4. 2-2, they're being pushed back. We got a really big push here from Rowdy. 2-2 goes down. But the Ostman lives. Mortar following up here in the west. Bit of flanking here is ultimately disrupted by OldTimePro. Mines going off, almost wiping the entire Fulton Grenadier squad. Certainly a bit at the risk of, some deep flanks. You risk much more likely getting wiped and retreat if you do not do enough damage if the opponent has enough mines down. But yeah, OldTimePro is taking a lot of casualties. You'd almost figure he was part of the Waffen SS, which were known for taking high casualties until the 3rd SS Totenkopf. Pioneers assaults are flanking up here, causing a bit of disruption. Trying to catch the support weapons here with the assault grenades. almost works out reasonably well. So, that's pretty neat. But, you know, ultimately didn't quite get the kills here still. Got the Stug, got the Flak Panzer nearby, and I sense an opportunity here as the field guns on the retreat, meaning they're not going to be able to easily stop, you know, advancing armor with supporting infantry. And I got the Stug here ready to deal with the T-70, so I'm just going in here. Of course, infantry keeping pace is important to ensure that the field guns don't easily stabilize and clear out my armor, so I need to rush them fast. Panzer's gun is moving in here, Stug rolling ahead here. We got the artillery called in as well here. T-70 down. Rowdy is not having a fun time here on the right flank. Artillery raining down there. Panzer forming us all here from OldTimePro. Both field gun crews are dead, and the engineers almost getting taken out as well here. Rowdy is getting a bit of a beating there. Flak Panzer dealing with some pinwheels here. Well, I'm paying attention. In fact, I'm about to get wiped out by the Flak Panzer, and they do suffer wipe. Basically, too much chaos and confusion there for Rowdy. He calls in the IS-2, but now I'm destroying the field guns to prevent any support for the IS-2. I doesn't know he has gotten it right now, but, you know, if you destroy, you know, decrew 2 field guns, you get the opportunity to wipe them, you wipe them. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. And, of course, this also further leaves Doggy a bit out to dry here, potentially. Either way, IS-2 there's arriving, rolling ahead here, full steam for the 3rd Guards Mechanized Corps. Comrade Rowdy does not want to go to the Gulag. Following up with more Stugs, as I then hear the engine of the IS-2, it makes a very distinct sound, and pretty much, you know, put the pieces together and get another Stug to stop that. Or at least to increase my chances of stopping it. T-Fed 476 up, we got the Pan 14 with a Maxim here, an Ace Maxim crew in fact. Not too great shooting here though. More Panzergrenadier, more hardened infantry to replace some of the other losses. But also just put me at 4 infantry escorts, and again, 2 Panzergrenadier escorts can actually do a lot of damage in a good flank. Black Panther with 13 kills, Stug with 4. Most of them, of course, being vehicle kills. Technically, field guns and such count as vehicles in terms of kills. Fun note. Flak Panther there gaining veterans who won. Another Sturmgeschütz arriving. He's keeping the engineers close by the way to ensure he doesn't, you know, get baited into a mine. Very sensible play there by Rowdy. And my pioneers get splattered across the Ostwind because Iron Hand insensibly repaired too close to the front line. Like an idiot. Got nice flanking on here, getting behind my lines. I'm too focused on the IS-2. Rowdy takes advantage of that, very good. In the west, OldTimePro again, going for another deeper flank, but is always not seeking or having too much success there. He's still a bit short on units. Flak Panther running about here. Pack gets wiped though. And of course he's going to try and rush ahead. I'm going to try and rush for the Pack 40 to get it crewed up before the IS-2 gets too far ahead, or more importantly, he, you know, gets on it. Osman takes it from the statue charge, almost getting knocked out there. Stug and Pack firing at the IS-2. We got air support called in as well by Rowdy. Pentagon is more moving up. They Stug down, a staggering blow here. And the Flak Panther goes down as well. Stug, though, is taking a bit of time to arrive. Assault is clearing up the Strafniki. And Panther's going to lose, might have a chance of getting the white, but I'm too focused a bit on the IS-2, overlooking the retreating Strafniki there. 16 kills close to veteran fleet is not too shabby. In the west here, OldTimePro being routed here by Doggy, moving ahead with the T-55 backed up by Guardsmen. Got the Panther moving in it, but there's the T-35, that is a bit outgunned. We'll have to see what he's going for, but so far it's looking like, well, either a Yak Tiger or a King Tiger. I personally hope, though, that's going to be a King Tiger, because the Yak Tiger is not very good in a lot of circumstances. The King Tiger, while a bit tricky to use in some ways, is still feel like much better. But T-55 rolling up behind my lines. IS-2 moving ahead again. Pack 40 pulled a bit further back. Quick shot there. Loses Otto, though. And air support there, threatens to clear out the Panzer out of their cannon again. Stug lands another hit on the IS-2. They're giving Rowdy there a bit time for pause. And again, no, though, OldTimePro keeps harassing. In fact, he's hiding the footage, just dip in and then dip out. Nice play there by OldTimePro. Even if he's struggling in some ways, which seems to be unit preservation, he realizes we can just deny the rations enough fuel. He can ensure they don't get to steamrollers. In fact, we might get slightly ahead of them thanks to just getting more fuel. So, nice play there by OldTimePro. Some good prioritization there and some, I think, good battlefield sense. Even again, he's struggling in the unit preservation department. If you can at least, you know, deny your opponent fuel, that actually helps a bunch. So T-55's on the way here for Doggy. As for Rowdy, we'll have to see what he does next. His IS-2's in good need of repairs. And of course he is still short on things to back up his armor otherwise due to those Two field guns being wrecked very hard. Another Sturmgeschütz later to help deal with the IS-2. And Ghost Assault is sprinting forwards. Bit of an overlooked ability, but does allow them to get closer to actually get the damage done fast. Mortar wiped out. Grabbing that victory point. Victory point's wiped away. It's actually pretty close in between the two sides. 353 versus 349. IS-2 back in action here for Rowdy. In the west, Doggy that continues to fight on here versus OldTimePro moving up with the Panzer is backed up by the Panzer IV. I mean, it very much looks like he's stalling for the King Tiger. A bit risky though, with all the Sludden Panzers and a Panzer IV. He might have a chance at it though. He probably would help if he could actually grab a field gun away from Doggy here. Mine spotted, cleared out. I mean, Rowdy, he's not taking tunnel mines lightly at all, which of course is a really good idea with only one big tank. I mean, if he gets that stuck, I could quickly take it out with the Stooks and a Pack 40, so I imagine Rowdy's well aware of that, so that's some good play there. Almost got veteran free on those assault grenadiers. Almost ace level engineers are getting shredded by the MP40s, the Schmeisers, as they were colloquially known, but they weren't actually made by Schmeiser. Fun fact, or designed by him specifically. Pins are then moving forwards. Pad 14 with the Maxim. And Pack gets wiped here by the engineers. Though, of course, he's finding he can't harass the golf point. Which, of course, is great for me. And, of course, for OldTimePro as well. In fact, he managed to grab the point here again, which gives us a sizable fuel edge. And also means OldTimePro is not far off at all from the King Tiger. It's also at this stage I'm starting to consider maybe I should try setting up for a regular Tiger tank. To help deal with all the penal troops also, present a bigger target for the IS-2 to have to, wrestle with. So according to the penal troops, hoping he's not paying attention. First shot takes out Boris. Dimitri, Yuri, and Sergei follow after. Almost taking out a full entire unit. So there you go. Bomb grenade from the penal troops holding up. Rowdy here seemingly struggling a bit here at this stage of the game. Which of course I'm more than happy to take advantage of. Of course, probably has something to do with his tank being all the way over here. Most people just tend to pay attention to the big tank, so if something happens to the infantry, they might not be quite able to react easily. I'll let Koenigsegg out here for OldTimePro. Pinlock machine gun being added. And he's still got his Panzer IV, and he's still got a lot of elite infantry, so well handled here, match with chances. We got Doggy here, there were two T-45s. I'm trying to figure out what's happening here. At this point, OldTimePro is pinging me about these two T-55s because I still have to be mindful of the IS-2 and other movements here. More Sturm Pioneers out. Might be an idea to equip them with a Panzerschreck as an idea. And there you go, IS-2 catching my Stoogs. So I can't even move into back up the King Tiger tank was the T-55s. And there you go, IS-2 taking hits from the Stoogs and the Panzer IVs in the west. T-55 being swarmed. We got targets well off here. Putting the King Tiger in a really bad spot. Not enough support here for him. And Doggy's just going all in as he should. He meanwhile trying to pursue the IS-2, but that's not quite working out either. At least it could be a bit risky. King Tiger's about to go down. Panther moving back in. Need to get the Stooks up as a support, I hope. But I'm not too far off from the Tiger myself. There you go. King Tiger's almost down. T-5's will take some hits here. Stooks struggling a bit here. One too heavily damaged. And could get a bit too risky sending in a Stoog on his own like that. So there you go. King Tiger down. Rather unfortunate for OldTimePro, but he did more or less have it unsupported. It was nice of him to try and bag out my Stoogs versus the IS-2. But in the end, I do try and get in the Stoog, get up to at least one. The T-55 Panzer IV down, meaning OldTimePro has no armor now until he called in the field gun here. And in the end, I just have to sort of drop the idea. In fact, it might cost me the Stoog here. Because in the end, it wasn't a very good idea, but I figured I'd try. Troops securing territory here, at least keeping up some pressure on the flank here. Sturmgeschütz almost good to go, would be an idea to add a machine gun there for it. And OldTimePro's going to continue to march ahead here, blasting away Russian troops. Doggy is suffering a bit in the department, which is helpful here for OldTimePro and just pushing ahead faster. Flamethrower up on the Panzer Fusiliers. Could try and maybe grab the field gun, though a bit risky with both T-55s flying away, or maybe just take it out with anti-tank rifle grenades, and that's exactly what happens here. Bit of a loss there for Doggy, leaving him short on tanks as Rowdy's IS-2 is good to go again. And I'm roughly a bit under a minute away from a Tiger tank. Unit wiped. Casualties are piling up here. Both Doggy and Rowdy have seen a slightly better day, so there's Rowdy and Mia, so the ones with the higher forces. Not counts, that is. Another attempt to flank you with the Assault Canoes, but the IS-2 rather puts that a bit on hold. In fact, almost wiping out the chaps. Panthers also falls back. Too many angry rations. Moving up here to provide a bit more support. Or at least trying to see if there's anything in support with, but there isn't. Panther was wiped out here by the IS-2, 16 kills, and there you go. Tiger available. Gefechtsbereit. Bereitstellung, either way. Mobilize for the fatherland. Continuing about here, pushing back the Sturmgeschütz. Mortar fire raining down here. Providing some light artillery support wherever needed. Troops in reinforcing more Pentagonist Grenadier, though, of course, could in a pinch call in Assault Grenadiers if necessary. We have yet to hit the ace level. They are incredibly close. They just need to sneeze at a ration and they'll get that promotion. There you go. Peon Troopers losing too many neatly. Vasily and Petrov. Blasted apart there by the Tigers, 88 and around. OldTimePro keeping up pressure on the left flank. Coming up here to contest the victory point in the rations there. Still a machine gun Stroog there, by the way. Gonna lose repulsed here by the IS-2. And then you're not having a fun time against the Tiger tank, to put it very, very, very mildly. They do manage to kill the victory point here. 4 kills on the Tiger. Assault Grenadiers, Panther was here ready to deal with any rations. And there you go, IS-2 moving straight ahead, backed up by a field gun. Tiger Stroog shoots at it. Some shot Pentrol's got the Pack 40 here, by the way. Tiger weak point stuns the IS-2 actually. Money for clearing out. Here we go. There we go. Ace Assault Grenadiers. Satch Charles from the field cache. Going in for the IS-2 with the Tiger and the Stroog. Shots bouncing. Panther's going for the field gun here. Rowdy might in fact go extend. We've got a field gun barrel or artillery barrage off here. Assault keep up pace here. Tiger tank's almost got the IS-2. Stroog moving in. Main gunner on the Tiger tank. Panther's clearing out the field gun. Assault gun's moving in as well there. Need to get the Tiger out there. Stroog's half health. Still going to go for the IS-2. And there you go, IS-2 down, but the Stroog is going to go down. Tiger tank's got desperately tried to get out of there. Issued 5 on the way here for Rowdy. Just as IS-2 goes up in flames, but he can't afford to stall for another one. Meanwhile, OldTimePro, I think, is stalling for another King Tiger. And it goes assault grenades off on all these bunched up rations. And my goodness, several kills there. Looks like, I think, roughly 5 to 6 men just went up in pieces there for that grenade assault. More Panzer going to do out here. Maxim dealing with the advance off OldTimePro on the left flank here for the Groß Deutschland. Vetchny 3 Obersoldaten, Vetchny 4 Panzerfusiliers. Rowdy summoning up the Russian Air Force here to break up OldTimePro's assault and to basically give Doggy's line some time to actually be straightened out here. Mine going off as well. OldTimePro's been showing he can also lay down mines aggressively. Sehr good. Hardened assault gun is moving up here. Mein Gott, Fritz, make sure it checks that Maschinengewehr, Pistol, for any dirt, so things have a slight tendency of jamming up. Which was a bit of an issue with the single feed of the submachine gun magazine. Anyways, Tiger tank there being repaired up, closing in on veterans in one as well. T5 hovering about here aggressively for Doggy, very close to the ace level actually. And there you go, field gun under control here for OldTimePro. Issued 5 minute support here as well. And there you go, second King Tiger out, second King Tiger. Panzer Grenadier moving vorwärts, Sturmgeschütz on the way. Geballte Laden there failed to make much of an actual impression on the Russians though. Tiger once more mobilised, and of course he's got repair pioneers up there which helps me and him. Ace T for further falling back. Anti-tank grenade goes off, which could leave it a bit of an easy target. Big push here from my support weapons. Not enough infantry about to support to deal with that. Gunners are going for a slight flank. Actually need to be careful I don't overextend too much. Target tank going after the penals with the shoots, and poor Yuri gets blasted off. Gunners was in Guinea. There you go, another hit. Half the unit is gone now. 7 kills on the Tiger tank. More T-55s out here for Doggy. Rowdy is stuck with that H-85. Anti-tank rifle dropped. He's being routed here. Tiger shoots, misses. And Stronger shoots Mobile as well. Assault gunners could move on from the munitions point. And we got people that need to be a bit careful. The tanks don't get within easy range of an anti-tank satchel. That would rather be unpleasant for my Tiger tank. 10 kills there. People there taking heavy losses, ignoring this Duke, and there we go, almost wiped out here by the Tiger tank. Assault gunners moving up here could theoretically threaten maybe a wipe. Maybe. Field gun opening up in the Sturmgeschütz. Almost got to wipe them, not quite. Still 25 kills, which is definitely not bad for an assault gun squad. Field gun there, exposed, low on health. And there you go, field gun crew murdered by the Tiger tank. H5 on the Tiger tank here, gaining veteran to 1. Ace assault gunners probably should consider getting the devil out of there. And until called him the machine gun. Maybe just in the hopes of wiping it. Almost got it, in fact. In the west, Doggy and OldTimePro continue to wrestle it out. Here, Ace T-55 taking hits from the field gun, and more importantly, the King Tiger, putting it down to half health very rapidly. Dog is lagging infantry, so that does mean he can't really sort of exert any bigger flanks in. Comparatively with OldTimePros, I think been very much consistent flanking. Doggy hasn't been much of a flanker, admittedly, neither has Rowdy.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Back here, healing enforcement going on. Tiger's going to need some repairs. I'm actually should be bringing up more pioneers to assist with repairs. H-5 is the King Tiger. That is not going well to the H-5 is within range of the King Tiger, which is usually not where you want to be with a tank destroyer. Maximum spot here with the Grenadiers. Live machine gun fire going off. Big 2 points wise, things are bleeding a bit out here for the rations. We got Tilly called in here as well to assist. I definitely want that maximum dead. And it almost pays off. Almost, but not quite. On the west, Doggy and Rowdy are forming up here. I'm sort of lining up for the next big push on the flank. Ace punches on the fire here from the T-45 King Tiger up, shooting a nice hit. Almost taking out entire guard squad. Other squad there is also considering getting elsewhere. Overall, Doggy's infantry is not having a nice day. Artillery raining down here as we got assault artillery unleashed by OldTimePro. Just throw off the ration defenses further. Third Mechanized Core Phalanx of Continental Defense here against the Course Deutschland Panzer wie schon. Hard to say what Rowdy's planning next. T-45s, another issued 5, or maybe going to try for another IS-2. And there you go, Pimps there the Tiger tank. H-5 joining in. Panzer like soldiers been changed to the max. Me, the T-45 going up. Here looks like Rowdy and Doggy is switching from OldTimePro to me, hoping they can overcome my unwavering faith in the power of the Sturmgeschütz. HT-55 pushing back the Panzer facilities. The Orbital Dad and King Tiger backing up here as well. Max quad in front of the Tiger tank. Not the best spot you want to be as a machine gun, truth be told. And yeah, that's a very quick retreat here in the face of the Tiger tank. Big tip on there being seized. Things are bleeding out fast for the rations. Very fast. Tiger shoots, spectacularly misses. And there you go, to get too close, caught here by anti-tank salto charge. Pioneers falling back here for the time being. Mark vehicle as well here. Pack forward to the Stuka ready to back up. H5 charges forward. Trying to line of fire everything and gets destroyed. Rowdy felt like he was prepared for much, but Pro wasn't prepared for that much firepower. Pims are charging ahead here. King Tiger keeps firing. It looks like they're ignoring the Stukas a bit. Oh, never mind. Got one off there. Still, the Pims are being absolutely torn apart. OldTimePro's holding the line there quite well. Pack crew were wiped out. Chief officers falling back here. Fast for repairs. There go. Third Pioneer Squad to assist with repairs. And actually summed up once more. Lots of lightest Infantergeschütz artillery. Fire, and there you go. Maximum routed, but the gun is about to get wiped out, so that is less good. Over here, OldTimePro remains stoutly on the defensive, digging in with sandbags. Very good work. And setting up to flank here, Rowdy's forces, and he's all focused on the victory point. I kind of figure he's got nothing to even cover this remotely, small flank. And in fact he doesn't, so we see a complete collapse of Rowdy's right flank there.
We have hammered the enemy down to 50 points.
50 points left here for the rations. Got a bit of some sort of ration that you need, but sadly nothing that's going to have any major impact on this battle. Tiger tank being repaired by 3 Pioneers, which of course means it's going to get fixed up fast. I mean, the faster they can get the Tiger back in action, the better. To put it very mildly. And some players tend to neglect having enough stuff to repair their heavy tanks when they do go for heavy tanks, meaning when he does get damaged, he's going to spend a lot of time doing nothing, which is usually a big waste. There you go, another grenade assault here from the assault grenadiers. 28 kills. This time the grenade assault doesn't go quite well. 21 points left. Tiger tank advancing here straight into a lot of Guardsmen and Penal Troopers. Mark calling the Stuka here just to back things up, just in case. And there you go, Sturmgeschütz E on top of the Sturmgeschütz G's. Also meaning I've almost got full dots on bingo, except for the Mechanised Assault group there. Tiger tank very close to base 2 here, also garden with King Tiger support, which is the T-55 in the south. Tiger tank taking a few hits. And there you go, veteran 2 gained for the Tiger tank. 7 points left here for the rations for the Red Army. T-55 blasted. And there you go, T-55 ramming the King Tiger and getting knocked out. 30 kills there on the Tiger tank. 1 point left, and there you go, GG, game over. A loss here for the Red Army. A victory for the German Army, for the Sturmgeschütz, and of course the Tiger tank. Certainly also a bit of highlight what you can do with the assault grenadiers. If you flank with them a lot and you use them correctly, they can do a large amount of damage. In particular, if you also remember to use the grenade assault, since used correctly, it can, get off some good kills, and it is reasonably cheap for its cost. And of course, also the power of flanking. I really feel like a lot of OldTimePro's flank actually did a lot, in particular harassing the Russian fuel. Also, in short, they did not somehow manage to get to steamrollers with tanks, which is really important to ensure as the Germans. So well played there by OldTimePro as well. Doggy and Rowdy feel like could try to flank more. At times they're just very much more reliant on brute force, but slowly was worn down with good tactical flanks here and then other things, and just ultimately lost steam and was then slowly ground down beneath the might of the Reich. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. This is ImperialDane. Cheers. Thanks for watching. You're all a wonderful audience. Hope to see you tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.